You done moving?
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm just so nervous.
What are you nervous about?
Because it's a big podcast and
100 listeners.
you invited us, so everything has to be perfect. So,
Why does everything have to be perfect?
because a lot of people are gonna listen to it, and I'm scared that I say something wrong, and people think that, like, I don't know something, stuff like that.
It's like a confession. You know what a confession is, right? You know when you go to Catholic church and you go into a booth with a priest
Yeah.
and you confess?
Ah, yeah.
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 Beichte.
Ah, yeah, okay.
All right. So we've got... I'm already recording, by the way. We've got Marten here and Nele.
Hello.
Nele. Just say Nele.
No. How do you say it?
Or in German would be Nele.
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 Nele. We're going to say Nele from now on.
You can. You
Okay,
can do whatever.
I've asked a lot of teachers, and they're like, it's Nelly. I'm like, I don't think so.
Well, yeah, because like in English it's just better, like easier to say Nelly.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to explain all the time the name, so I'm just like Nelly, and that's fine.
You just have to spell it phonetically. So Nele, right?
Yeah, it's Nele.
Nele, Nele.
Nele.
And is it Marten, or have I been saying that wrong the whole time?
No, you said it right. It's Marten. Or Martin. Something like that, yeah.
Marten sounds very American, actually. So Marten in German?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to the podcast. We haven't done this podcast since, well, I did one before the pandemic. And then for the past couple of years, haven't done any. Just because I've been too busy. You know how busy I am, Martin, right?
Yeah.
So now we're back, and we have two wonderful guests here. You guys come from Germany. Do you guys come from the same part of Germany? No.
No, not really. I'm from like central Germany, Frankfurt.
I'm more from the north, near Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys didn't know each other before you came here?
Not at all.
And how many German students do we have?
Last semester it was like 7, I think. And this semester...
It's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Oh, some of them have left already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start with you, Martin. Like, what was the experience like coming here? Because it's not an exchange program. We didn't send any people there.
Yeah.
You guys just came here.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to come to Canada to have this experience?
Like, at first I wanted to go to the US because it's far away and you can't go there every time you want. And then I thought about like Donald Trump and their weapons and stuff like that. Then Canada is more safe and I like the nature and skiing. And then I thought about Vancouver. And then I came here.
Actually, the whole United States thing scares me off too.
Yeah.
I've traveled a lot in the States though, and most of it's quite safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you find out about this program in Delta?
I think one person from my organization where I signed up for said, looked for schools. I could say what I want to do and what sports I do and what I like. Then he found schools for me. And like in this district in Delta, I didn't know anything about Delta before. And then I also like small schools because everything is more family and everyone knows each other. And then I said, I want to go to Delview, and then I came here.
So they knew Delview was smaller, and that's how you decided to go here.
Yeah.
Interesting. So like when you first wanted to, the thought of going to a different country, I mean, it's not easy to decide that you want to leave your country
Yeah.
and go to another country where, I mean, you speak English pretty well,
Yeah.
right? Both of you do. But to go to a different culture, a different country that, like, it's not easy to do. Like, I can't imagine sending one of our students to Germany,
Yeah.
right? It'd be very tough for them to leave home and do that. So for you to just decide, I want to go experience something, like, it was your decision, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So Nele, did you have the same experience?
Well, for me, it was similar. I wanted to go abroad basically ever since. And before COVID started, I wanted to go to Australia. I just couldn't go because the borders were still closed. And then my dad was actually looking up some schools in Canada because we've heard that Canada's already open for international students. So we were just looking up some school districts because we knew how it works. Because my brother was in Canada 2 years ago. And so that's the reason why we found Delta. And then I just applied. And yeah, that's the reason why I'm here.
So neither of you had been to Canada before?
No.
Okay. So before you came to Canada, what was your impression of what Canadians were like, what Canada was like?
I knew that Canadians are very friendly and then always apologize. And I knew that the nature here is good and they have good ski resorts. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For the most part?
Yeah.
Are we actually that polite? Because
Yeah.
people always say that.
I would totally say that.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're meeting someone on the street and then they're starting talking to you and it's just like a small talk and then it's getting to an actual talk. And
Yeah.
well, you don't find that super often in Germany. It's getting more, but
So
cool.
there's not much small talk in Germany?
there is. But personally, for me, it seems like people in Germany are busy and people in Germany, they sometimes avoid to talk. Not generally, but you get into the situation where people try to finish the conversation super quickly.
It's probably different in city versus country too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I've been around to different countries, and that's what I find as well. People in smaller towns are more likely to chat with you and find out who you are and help you out than busy
totally.
people in the city.
Yeah.
So what's it like in Frankfurt back in Germany?
So my city where I'm living is like 20 minutes by car away from Frankfurt. So I'm not living directly in Frankfurt. So I'm living there. There's Frankfurt and there's a smaller town called Hanau right next to it. And I'm living right in between these two cities. And I would say Frankfurt is pretty cool because we're having, some people call it Manhattan because there's the River Main going through Frankfurt. And we also have some kind of skyscrapers. That's the reason Manhattan, but not Manhattan, but Manhattan.
Wait, so there's a mine?
That's the river, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we have also water and there's also nature close by, which is really cool. And yeah, obviously my family's living there. That's the reason why I grew up there. So yeah, it feels special for me.
Right. So it is a really nice place.
Definitely, yeah. I like it.
And what is it like being a kid growing up there? Like, what are some of the things that you would grow up doing? And especially when you become a teenager, what are some of the activities?
I would definitely say that we, like as a kid, we used to play a lot on the playgrounds and we're skating a lot on the streets and playing on the streets or also in our backyard. And as we got older, we used to go to downtown basically and just walk around, go shopping, maybe go a bit further away in the nature, going for a walk or meeting in the cafe, meeting in a restaurant, and basically hanging out.
Are there similarities to here? And
Definitely, yeah. It's just in Delta, and the nature's close, but you always need to have a car, and we don't really have that here. So it's more going to Vancouver and hanging out in Vancouver, or going to Strawberry Hill, or being in the area around, and not a lot about the nature, but it's still really nice.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I live in Vancouver, so I actually drive here for 40 minutes here and then 40 minutes back. At the most, it's not that bad. It's highway driving, but yeah, everybody pretty much needs to have a car here to get around. our transportation, like I actually looked up how long would it take me to get to Delta from where I live by public transit, and it's something like 2 to 3 hours to get here. And then I would have to go downtown and take the SkyTrain, and it's just ridiculous. So I know some places have much better transportation just because a lot more people use transportation. So they have subways and trains and things like that, right? What about you, Martin? What is the difference between growing up as a teenager, as far as you can see, in Germany versus here?
Also that in Germany, in my city, I can always use my bike, so I'm more independent from my parents. I can drive everywhere I want. Like, I live more in the central of the city, so when I want to go to the movie theater, I can use my bike. When I want to go, like, to a restaurant, I can use my bike. So you're more independent, but you also don't have so much free time like here as in Germany, because school is very long and you have a lot of classes a week. And yeah.
Do you go like 6 days a week, or
no? 5 days.
Still 5 days?
Yeah, 5 days a week, but you have often like from 8 in the morning to 4 o'clock. And you have 13 or 12 classes a week. So, and then with homework, and then you're done at 6 o'clock with homework. So you can't do so much on the day.
So the education's a bit more tougher there in terms of homework and workload.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your experience as well?
I would say it's just because we have so many different subjects. So we have like not only 4 subjects a semester, we have, as you said, like I think the last year I had like 10 or 11 probably.
Really?
It's just getting more overall, but we don't have like each subject each day. So it's just spread over the week.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of lifestyle, I would say. You get used to it, you adapt.
So like we have 4 blocks during the day. You guys would have more blocks and shorter classes, I guess.
Yeah, like one school block is like 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
And sometimes then it's 2 blocks of one class, so it's like 1 hour and a half then.
Yeah.
And it always changes. Like per semester the schedule is different, and each day is also different, and you're not having the same subjects as the day before.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, here too, there's different systems, right? We have semesters here where you take half your courses halfway through the year and then the next half. And then the linear system, which this school used to be linear, where we had 8 courses rotating throughout the week. So I would see my students, the same students, maybe every other day. And that would go on for the entire year. So there's lots of different ways and there's advantages and disadvantages to both for teaching and learning. So that's interesting. So you guys have been here for a while now. How have you been able to go around and see things, or have you been sticking around North Delta?
Like I've been in downtown often, like I think 10 to 12 times already.
Wow.
Then last week I was at the suspension bridge and I visited it, and it was very nice.
The Capilano suspension bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. So was that part of the international program?
No, it was with my homestay family.
Oh, nice.
They bring me there.
Okay.
Yeah, they brought me there.
And Nele?
I would say I also got around quite a bit. In my first week here, my host family took us to Lake Timothy. That's 6 hours north in BC. So it's close to Lake Williams.
Timothy?
Yeah, Lake Timothy it's called.
Oh.
It's more like a private lake, and one of our neighbors has a cabin there, like the neighbors here in Delta.
Wow.
And so we stayed there some nights, and then we went on to Cornell and slept 2 nights in Cornell, and then we went back home and that was overall a week or so.
Were you camping, or was it mostly hotels and cabins?
Well, my host parents were sleeping in the camper, but we kids or girls, we slept in the cabin, so we had our own bed. But
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of mixture.
Good
Yeah, that
experience.
was really cool. And overall, I'm also trying to do a lot, like going to Vancouver, seeing the area around. But as I said, it's hard to get around without a car because everything is kind of far, and the public transit is good, but it's not getting you to the mountain, for example.
Yeah, no, it won't. It's a long way to get there.
Actually, I went skiing to Grouse Mountain one day, and it took us 2 hours to get there by bus.
That sounds about right.
A long ride.
Yeah, when you plan out stuff using transit, you can see this is nuts. Even coming to work, I can't. There's no way I could do it.
Yeah, it's over the time it's getting annoying, but you get used to it.
Yeah, but we have cars. Yeah. So tell us about what your family life is in Germany. Do you have siblings, or what's it like there?
Yeah, I have one older brother. He's 18 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like my brother and me, we are very close.
So you're the younger brother.
Yeah, I'm the younger brother. And then I have my grandparents lives near me, so we visit them on the weekend sometimes. And yeah, we like in Germany, it's very you're close with your family, so you always eat with them, you do stuff with them on the weekend, and yeah.
And do you have any siblings?
I do have an older brother as well. He's 19 now and graduating in high school. And that's pretty exciting. And it's too bad I can't be there for his graduation because I'm here. So I'm missing them pretty badly, my family. Yeah.
And are both of you're leaving at the end of this year, right, Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you staying or?
No, I'm just staying for the rest of the semester. And
I see.
I'm also going to go back during summer.
Okay. And overall, it's been a good experience?
Totally. I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky with my host family because they've also taken me during New Year's to Manning Park. We went skiing together, and whenever they have free time, they're trying to do stuff with us, and it's really amazing.
It's part of the experience, right? You don't want to just go to school.
Yeah.
So,
because these are the people you're staying with.
Yeah.
Like you're living at their house, you're eating with them dinner, and that's just the part of the experience as well.
Yeah. I just can't imagine if I was I've never experienced that. I know my wife when she was younger, when she was in elementary school, her mom sent her to Japan to live for a month with a family friend, and she had to go to school, and she already knew the language a little bit. So that was a good experience for her, and I'm sure for you're getting a lot out of this in terms of experience and wondering about the world. Like ordinarily, would you have traveled to? You've never been to Canada before. Had you been to the United States, or you must have been to other places?
I've been to the States before. We went to New York and Florida, and also around the world, South Africa, a lot of places in Europe because it's just super close to travel in Europe, and also in Singapore and Indonesia. So I've traveled around the world.
We wanted to go to Singapore just before the pandemic because my cousin was getting married. So we were supposed to go to a wedding, and then it got postponed, and then they had to just do their own wedding.
Oh,
but
no.
But another time.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. What about you, Martin?
We always planned to go to the US, but we never could because of COVID, and the flights are so expensive. And then we want to stay like there for not just 2 weeks, for like 4 or 6 weeks, because there's so much to see, and you also have to find the time to go there, and it's very difficult. But I travel a lot in Europe because it's super close. Like you can drive to France or Spain in one day, so it's very close.
Or I guess you guys have trains, which are a good way to travel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually never really used a train to go to a different country because it's just easier to go by plane. When you want to go to Spain, I would always take the plane.
Right.
It's just more convenient.
Or car.
Yeah.
I know when people go to Europe, because I never traveled by plane in Europe, but they usually use something like Ryanair.
Yeah.
Right, because that'd be really cheap. But the last time I was in Europe, we've only been to Italy and UK and France. Those 3 countries. Haven't been to Germany yet. One day soon. But no, we got a Eurail pass, and that's how we traveled. High-speed rail. It's very cool. Convenient. Yeah.
And especially when you're traveling by train, you can also see something about the area itself, about the nature, and from the plane you're not seeing anything. So that's definitely an advantage.
I'd actually like to rent a car.
Yeah.
But then you have to get used to the rules of the road. Yeah. That might be difficult.
Especially in Germany on the highway.
What's it like in Germany on the highway?
No speed limit.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that just the Autobahn?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, that's the German word for highway.
That's okay. So it's not just one highway called the Autobahn.
No,
it's like
no.
all highways.
Yeah.
All highways have no speed limit?
Some parts, like when you're close to a town or like some areas might have a speed limit, but I think overall more than half of the Autobahn is without speed limit.
Wow. Is that... I guess people aren't too crazy there that they move out of the way if there's somebody really speeding, right?
Yeah, they do. Like, they make space, and that's the rule. You have to make space if someone is faster than you are.
And when you don't want to drive so fast, you go to the right side, because there are like 3 or 4 lines, then you drive on the right side. So they can pass on the left.
Mainly they're like driving 100 there, at least.
Yeah.
I think you're not even allowed if you can't go faster than 80.
Yeah.
You're not allowed on the Autobahn.
That sounds like fun.
It is.
I know when my cousin used to go to Germany, he would rent a sports car and just ride the Autobahn.
Well, it's also dangerous. I know about some people that had really serious accidents. Because they were just not being careful, and they were also still young, and they shouldn't have gotten that kind of car. And then they got into a car crash, and I don't know if someone died, but still, you got to be careful, definitely.
Yeah, I guess that could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what's one thing that has surprised you about Canada?
That's hard.
Yeah.
Was there one thing, like when maybe you had a certain impression, you arrived and you were like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know they did that. Or something cultural or something that was unexpected about what it's like here or how school works here?
I would maybe say that the kind of how they're like wasting food or also treating plastic. I was expecting, because I always thought that Germany is pretty behind with sustainability and with treating the environment. And especially because there's so much environment in Canada, I was expecting the country to be more aware of it and the people to think more about that topic. But I see during school and also in my host family, also when I talk with friends, that they probably care about it, but they don't know what their actions are causing. So I was a bit surprised by that.
So what specifically did you notice that was surprising?
Well, one good example is, for example, the Ziploc bags, that they're being used in every single occasion. And at least my family at home, we were trying to avoid using them, because especially in Germany, we have tons of containers and Tupperware and everything. And the things are there, like especially in my house family, there is a container to store food in, but they don't use it. And I didn't really understand that, and I still don't understand it, why you have to use a Ziploc bag instead of a Tupperware.
Talking about like washable containers.
Yeah,
like
exactly. You can just reuse it, but yeah.
Yeah. Anything surprising to you, Martin?
I don't know, probably I never knew how the weather is in Canada. I thought it's more like good weather, sunny and some snow, but it's always raining here and that sucks. I didn't know that.
This area, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of rain here
Yeah.
in Vancouver and BC.
Yeah.
Is it true that Vancouver is actually a rainforest?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know
You
that.
see this area, yeah. Yeah, for sure. So that's why lots of rain, but lots of green.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
Everything gets watered very nicely here. Yeah. Not as much snow as you thought then.
or that's more than in Germany, but I thought it's more snow here.
And also different kind of snow. I was expecting it to be always powder and always like not the dry, the
Wet.
wet snow, but more dry snow.
Right.
And the majority of the snow we got this year was more like wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't make any snowballs out of that, right?
No. Sometimes, not every time.
But we are pretty close to decent snow, and like we have 3 nice local mountains, right?
Yeah.
Which have gotten really busy lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? People want to get out and ski and stuff like that. I'm planning to do some spring skiing, so I'm hopefully the mountains are still okay, not too icy for that. But you do have to go a little bit further for a nice powder, like Whistler
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
or Sun Peaks,
Yeah.
somewhere more further away. Cool. So, what are your plans in the future in terms of your career, or what are you guys interested in?
I always wanted to live in the UK, like London, because I visited it. Like, I think I was there before, and it was like super nice. I like the country, and it's a big city, and I like English. So it's good that I'm here and that I can learn English.
And London's a really nice city. I've been there before.
Yeah,
So you want to go there to work?
yeah.
Okay. Do you know what you might be doing? Any ideas yet?
No, I'm not sure
You
yet.
still have some time,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. What about you, Nele?
I can definitely imagine going abroad another year after I'm done doing high school. But I haven't figured out yet how exactly I want to do that. But I think it's just a nice experience and also getting to know another country than Canada. And after that, I would definitely love to go to university in Germany and maybe do something like environmental management. So I'm interested into that.
What grade are you in here?
In Canada, I'm grade 11. But
Grade 11.
in Germany, I'm also grade 11, but I'm 17, so I'm in the age of grade 12 here.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were a little bit older. Because when I first saw you in the office, I was like, is that a teacher? I hadn't met you before.
Yeah, that's right. Some people actually really thought that I was a teacher, also because of my height.
Your height. Yeah. Because like Martin's he's like a small child.
Wow. Wow. I'm not that short.
No, you're not that short. You're just small. It's okay, Martin.
Yeah.
You've moved a lot of chairs before this podcast, so
Like 20.
that would help you.
I did my workout for today.
That's good. Yeah. Do you work out?
I want to start again. I did it before the gyms got closed in December.
The germs?
Gyms.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, gyms, yeah.
yeah, I went there before they got closed, and now I want to start again.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Is that what you normally do in Germany too?
No.
No.
I think you can't even go to gyms. You can go there when you're 16 years old, but you can't before.
I think like the gym where my brother used to go to, he had to get a sign from my parents like a signature from my parents that he can go.
Is that because of health?
Yeah,
They
I
don't
think they
want you
don't want you
working
to
out?
ruin your body
Yeah.
when
Right.
you're still so young.
Oh, that's very kind.
Yeah, kind of.
Different policies in Germany, I guess.
Definitely. Did you know that there's a law on how to brew a beer?
No.
There is.
What do you mean? What's What's the law?
Well, I don't know exactly, but I think it's forbidden to mix some like bad things into there. So it always has to be like clear. Reinheitsgebot.
Wow. Germans are very serious about their beer, I guess.
Yes, they are. And if you mix beer with lemonade, it's alcohol, but in a culture it's not considered as alcohol.
So if you mix beer with just lemonade or anything,
well, I think lemonade.
Then it's okay.
Yeah. It's called Radler then.
Oh, okay. Give it a new name and it's fine. It's good. It's fine for kids.
Yeah.
What is the drinking age in Germany?
16 for beer and wine.
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty
Interesting.
different than Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I guess, I know Europe in general, people don't just go out and get crazy drunk, right? It's a bit more tame.
I don't know.
I would say it starts like when you're 16 years or 15 years old,
Yeah.
then you go out and
I
drink
see.
something.
I see.
Yeah, it always depends on where you're living and how your environment is and how your family also
Yeah.
treats alcohol.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't really say it in general. Like I have some friends, they've never drinking before, and I have some friends, they've tried it before.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. Now, you were mentioning the environment before. You do a lot of, like, we have roadside recycling and things like that. But what I've heard is that a lot of those things don't actually get recycled because in terms of value, it's really just your milk cartons. Those are valuable. Pop cans, those are valuable. But there's a lot of plastics that have a symbol on it, the triangle symbol that says, it's recyclable. They usually just end up in the landfill.
Yeah.
In Germany, what are the recycling processes like? Is it there's plastics and paper and things like that too?
Well, I also think it depends on each town because I know that, for example, my friends that are living in a different town are having different kind of recycling. But where I live, it's paper, garbage, recycling. Well, recycling is like the biodegradable things, right?
We call it compost here.
Oh, yeah, then it's
Yeah?
the compost. We have glass. What else? I think that's about it.
So, we have recycling centers here as well. But a lot of things get put into a landfill or sometimes sent to other countries. And other countries have been starting to refuse Canadian recycling, like plastics and things like that. Like they used to go to like the Philippines or China. And then in other countries, it might end up in their landfills. So I heard a reporter, actually the reporters, I think from the States, I think it was Wall Street Journal, they reported and said that like this journalist would rather throw things in the trash than know that you're throwing it in the recycling bin, but it ends up in a different country in their landfill, right? So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what the people come up with to get rid of waste, I would say.
Yeah. And so are there any other things that like you guys want to get done before you leave here at the end of the year? End of the school year?
Well, I definitely want to go to UBC before I leave. Like, just see the campus and how it is.
That was my campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
It's a nice campus.
It's really big. That's what I've seen from the plane, at least.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Even bigger now than when I went there.
Yeah.
Because the last time I was there was early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I finished my master's program there. And then they have like so many condos and high rises and restaurants and all that sort of stuff that I didn't get to have access to while I was doing school there.
Were you living on the campus or?
No, I wasn't living on campus. I was living at home just to save some money. But And that was also one of the only times I would take the bus, because I hate taking the bus.
Yeah, it's getting annoying.
Yeah, but it's a really nice campus now. You should see it. SFU is on top of Burnaby Mountain. That's pretty nice too.
Right. Yeah,
it's a little bit different of a campus.
Yeah, there's one time when I was in the volleyball team, we watched one game of the SFU against a team from Seattle, I think, at SFU. That was pretty cool.
Oh, you went to SFU to watch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah. What about you, Martin?
I definitely want to see Whistler, and I want to, like, my parents think about to pick me up here and then drive through Canada and drive into the US, but...
Oh, with your parents?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, but we're not sure yet because my brother's gonna graduate this summer, and they don't want to leave him at home.
Right.
Alone.
Right.
So we're not sure if it's possible.
But your parents, if they wanted to, they could come here and you could rent a camper.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe go across Canada?
Yeah. We wanted to do this. Like Kelowna, and then like see all the like hinterland from Canada. What is it called?
Backcountry.
Backcountry. Yeah.
Yeah. What is tent camping something that people do in Germany a lot? Like go to a campsite, pitch a tent, sleeping bags, set a fire.
Some people do.
Yeah.
But yeah. But it's not as it is here in Canada, because here in Canada you have so much nature and it's just a lot, and you're mainly for yourself then.
Yeah.
But in Germany, I feel like there are always other people you meet. Like you never really can be on your own.
You also can't camp everywhere, so there's like a camping place, and then there are a lot of people.
Yeah, you always have to stay on the campsite. You can't really park a camper anywhere and just sleep there.
Yeah, I don't think technically we're not supposed to be camping anywhere here either, because we do have campsites.
Yeah.
But I remember with a group of friends, we would just find a spot beside a river sometimes in the woods. Nobody really bothers you.
Yeah.
So, like here, road trips are a big thing too.
Yeah.
So I went with my family down to the States, all through several states, and did some camping that way. I love road trips because then you get to, like you said, on the train in Europe, you get to see outside and what different places are like. Even more so when you're on a road trip in a car, and then you just pick up a campsite and we'll camp here for the night. And then you get to, see what different areas are like. It's really interesting. I guess people must do road trips in Germany and Europe as well, right?
I would say so. Like, at least my family, we mainly go by car when we go somewhere. Because of COVID, we mainly stayed in Germany because it was a bit annoying because of the borders and everything. So we avoided going outside of Germany during the year or the 2 years. And you definitely see the environment, you see the nature, you see different towns. You can just stop at the town, you can get some bread at a bakery. It's just different than using the plane.
But do you do road trips in Germany? I wouldn't do road trips just in Germany. I drive like through Austria, Switzerland, Italy, like this area, and then see more countries.
That's right. Last summer we went to Italy, and this one drive from Frankfurt to Italy, our first stop was like 8 hours, and we passed Switzerland by doing that. So we even crossed like basically 2 borders. We even went to France we also crossed the French border, I think. Yeah, so we've crossed a lot of borders while going to Italy, and you don't get that here in Canada.
Right.
Because everything is so close.
What are the borders like in Europe?
You don't really see them. Because
there's a checkpoint and you have to show your passport, or no?
Not really. Well, it's because of the European Union, and Switzerland is not in the European Union, but even if you cross the border from Germany to Switzerland, you don't really see it. There's like a checkpoint, but they don't actually check you. Well, at least not us.
Right.
Yeah, and you have to pay like for the highway.
Yeah, like
Right.
Maut,
Yeah.
it's called. I don't know the English word for that.
Yeah, you have to pay to drive on it.
Well, but that's like in general in Europe, just
Yeah.
not Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's tolls here and in some places as well.
Yeah, that's how it's
Yeah.
called. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a little annoying if you always had to get like the thingy to buy it, to pay for it, and because sometimes you could forget about it because in Germany we don't have it, and then you go to a different country and then you have to remember it.
Right.
But well,
How is your English so good, both of you? You learn English in Germany.
yeah, I started learning English in grade 5,
Mm-hmm.
so that was pretty early.
Yeah, like I started learning English in in like grade 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Do you both know other languages?
Well, I had to learn either French, Spanish, or Latin in
Yeah.
school,
Okay.
and I chose Spanish, not French.
Yeah, I could choose between French and Latin. I choose French.
Does anybody choose Latin?
I know, yeah, like in the course in my grade, there was like 20 people that were choosing Latin. I don't know why, but
I didn't think they still taught Latin.
No.
it's like, isn't it considered a dead language? And you can't even speak it anymore?
Yeah, I guess it's useful for certain things because it's the root of a lot of different terms and terminology that you know. And I guess it might be interesting if you were interested in old texts.
Also, probably when you want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
So,
I took a course called Classical Studies when I was doing my Bachelor of Science, and that was all about Latin and Greek. So there's a lot of words I could break down and figure out the meaning of the scientific words because of, the Greek or Latin that I learned. So it was useful that way. That's interesting that you get to take Latin.
Yeah, that's right. I was surprised that some schools in Germany are not even offering Spanish because I thought that you either choose like French, Spanish, or Latin. But I think a lot of schools just have Latin or French and not Spanish. I didn't really know that. But you could also choose Italian as a third language or as a second language then, besides English. And, well, you have to take English
yeah.
and obviously German. Yeah.
I met some Belgians when I was in Cuba. And to get to Cuba, it's pretty easy for Canadians, but Americans have to go through Canada because of, their issues. So I met some Americans there too who snuck into Cuba. But it's interesting talking to the tourists there because especially tourists from Europe because they speak so many different languages. The Belgians, they spoke their own language, but also they would speak Spanish to the Cubans. They could speak English to us, and French as well. There were some Swiss people who obviously spoke, Swiss French and multiple languages. So, here we learn French and English. And then when we get to high school, we can pick other languages. Now, when I went through high school, I had to do French up to grade 11. And people here complain about being able to have the opportunity to learn different languages. But obviously, when you're in a place like Europe where everything is close by, it's very valuable, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I remember this one time we went to France, and my parents had French in school when they were younger. And my brother and I didn't know any French, so what happened? We couldn't really communicate because they weren't talking English, so we had to talk French. And the only way we could communicate was my parents, and they knew some basic things, but not the whole language. So that was really problematic.
That's like when I went to Quebec with my up to grade 11 French. It was very embarrassing, right?
Yeah, it's definitely useful knowing more languages than just English or just German.
Especially if you travel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And even if Spanish now, so you can probably make out the French.
Yeah,
They're
that's
related,
right. Or
so-
also Italian is similar to
Right.
Spanish.
Yeah.
It's easier then. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you think about languages, Martin?
Like, I would also say it's very, like, it's good to know English and very important to learn English because you can, like, everyone in the world can speak English. So it helps you a lot. And like when you take French in school, like I think every other country can speak English, but the French people, I don't know, I don't like them. They can't speak English, so you have to speak French with them. So.
English must be a difficult language for you guys to learn, though, because it's very some things are very illogical. You know what I mean? There seems to be a lot of rule breaking.
Yeah, that's right.
In English,
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, but at least for me, when I got to the point where I just started speaking and not trying to translate every single word, it's getting easier. And well, for example, my house sister, she's Japanese, and she tried to teach me some Japanese, and that language is really different than English. So I can understand that people say German to learn English when you're German is easier than to learn English when you're Japanese or Chinese.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I thought, because you guys speak so naturally. So I guess your idea is that maybe the more you listen to, the more you speak to people, more conversations you have, it just naturally comes to you.
Yeah. But I think also it depends on the teacher you have. Because, for example, I was in so-called like bilingual class, and we were taught some subjects in English. So since grade 5, I had, for example, geography and economics in English. And that just made it easier because I learned earlier not to think about it and just to speak it. And also some other vocabularies that probably wouldn't be taught in regular English courses.
Really? Yeah. In classes where you have to speak English?
It was just economies, geography, and history.
Okay, yeah.
And that was since grade 5.
I had every class in German. Just English was English, but the rest was German.
So was that yours was a special program? Like we have French immersion here. Where they learn all the subjects in French. Right?
Yeah. Well, it's my school is so-called like a European school. It's still a public school, but because they have so many different programs, and there's, for example, also a Spanish class. They just start learning Spanish from grade 5 and not from grade 7 on. And so that's the reason why they're offering also a bilingual class. And so I had these 3 subjects in English. And it just made it easier for me to start learning English because I just got used to learning vocabularies and speaking English with other teachers.
Here's a question for you. In Germany, in terms of education, how important are the arts? Because here sometimes like the first thing they would cut if there's some budget cuts would be art programs, music, drama, fine arts. So that tells me sometimes that, well, we value academics, not so much art. What is it like where you come from?
I would also, the first thing I would cut is also music. And like, it's not so important. You need more like science and math and languages. So, and you don't need music. You just need music when you want to be what does it mean?
A musician?
Yeah, man. Sorry, musician. So I would also cut.
So I take it you don't play an instrument or sing.
I played piano.
Did you?
Yeah, but just for 2 years, and then I stopped.
Because?
The songs was boring. And I didn't want to practice like every week, and then I stopped playing it.
I see. What songs were you playing that were boring?
It was like the children's songs.
Oh, right. You were telling me.
Yeah.
Kids songs.
Yeah. And then.
How old were you? You were a kid?
12, 13.
Okay.
And I stopped playing.
But you could probably play some basic piano now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
At Live at Lunch?
No. No. please no. Too much pressure.
What about you? Do you have any musical experience? Are there music programs in your schools?
Well, there like school-wise, there's no programs, I would say.
Really?
I think. Yeah, I only had music in, I think, from grade 5 to grade 8, and then it's changing each semester during grade 9 and 10 from either arts or music. So either we like draw or paint it. Yeah, so I played the guitar when I was younger, but I also stopped because it was not really fun anymore for me. And
Because it was children's songs?
no, we actually played actual songs, but even though I wasn't that bad, but I had other things to focus on. I preferred doing sports. So that's the reason why it was just getting too much overall. So I stopped playing the guitar. But I like dancing, so that's also fine art.
Right. So your school didn't have too many music programs.
No, like in general, I would say the German school system is not, like the public school system is not really supporting arts.
Okay.
At least in my opinion.
You would have to go to a private school for that?
Yeah, or like in general, the German school system, for example, there are no actual school teams, like soccer, badminton, or whatever, any kind of sports you want to play, you do it outside of school.
Yeah.
So if you want to go into a band or something, most of the people just join a club and go to the band there or to the church or something.
Do you know
that.
kids who do that?
Not a lot. Some,
Okay.
but not a lot. Well, concerning music, if it's about sports, basically everyone is in a club, I would say.
Yeah.
Right. So you do have physical education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't have music. Do you have drama?
Well, like there is a subject called music and there's a subject called arts, and we do like how to like the notes and everything, like how to understand music, and we learn about music
How to
itself.
read it.
Yeah, how
So
to read it.
theory.
Yeah, and also I think we're supposed to also learn some instruments, but it's not really the priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of the people just do it outside of school if they want to play an instrument.
Right. So they take lessons and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What kind of music do you guys listen to?
Mainly pop, I would say.
Is it a
sometimes
lot of
rap.
are there a lot of German artists that you listen to, or is it like a mixture of North American?
Most of the people listen to like English
Yeah.
songs, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to learn the language too.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
Like not so many German. I
Well-
would say more old people, right? Listen to German.
Well, like the younger teenagers, they probably listen more to English, but it's hard to say it in general because I can only speak about myself and my friends. And also some of my friends say like rap, like really hardcore rap, and some don't. So it's just a mixture out of everything, I would say. Yeah. We also do have like kind of like country music. It's called like
Really?
For carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like,
For carnival?
do you know carnival?
No.
Well, I know there is carnival in Quebec, like
Oh, okay.
winter carnival.
Yes.
And maybe it's kind of similar, but actually, I think this weekend there is carnival in Germany. It's just canceled because of COVID. But usually it's like one weekend of partying and everything. Everyone is dressing up in costumes, and then there's going to be a parade in almost every town.
Yeah.
Well, where I come from,
Wow.
it also different per region.
Do you have parades where you come from, Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not so big.
Yeah, I think the biggest one is in Cologne,
Yeah.
and that's like 2 hours away from me. So that's the reason why there's also a lot where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't happen here very much.
No, not
No
really.
big giant carnivals.
Yeah, I think maybe the dressing up is probably similar to Halloween, but it's in a funny way. Like you dress up in a costume that's supposed to be funny, and and at Halloween there are no parades here, so that's different.
Yeah, and you don't get candies.
Yeah, well you do. They're like
Carnival?
throwing it in the parades.
It's more for older people, I would say. Like drinking
Carnival.
alcohol and stuff like that. No?
No.
Maybe you just haven't been a part of all of that, Martin.
I think it's definitely because it's different regions of Germany, and I know that
Yeah.
northern Germany is not too big about it. Like maybe you do have it, but it's
What?
not carnival.
I have it, but I don't know. I thought it's for alcohol there.
Okay.
Okay, my
That's
bad.
good.
Sorry.
Martin's too busy,
Yeah,
right?
with school and soccer. And, yeah,
You're a big soccer player?
yeah. So
Okay.
I also sign up for a club here, so I also play soccer here.
Good.
Yeah,
You score a lot of goals?
I'm not allowed to play games.
What? Why?
Yeah, because it's weird. I signed up for a team for people who was born in 2006
Oh,
because I went there with a friend, like this who is in my grade here,
yeah,
and I'm the only one in my grade who's 2005.
I see.
And yeah, so I can't play games. I'm not allowed to.
You're only allowed to practice.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe you coach then.
Yeah, probably.
And Nele, you play basketball here, right?
No, I played volleyball.
Volleyball.
Yeah, during the season. But I've actually never played volleyball before in Germany, only during like PE in school. But that was twice probably.
Here it's basketball, volleyball, badminton,
Ultimate.
soccer, ultimate. Are those like similar to what you have in Germany, or are there other things that you would do in physical education?
During like in school?
Yeah. Or what are some popular sports there?
I would say in Germany in general, it's like soccer,
Yeah.
especially for the boys.
Yeah.
And well, I'm dancing in Germany and also playing tennis. That's probably also
Yeah,
more
tennis is
popular.
also probably some of my friends are playing golf.
Really?
Yeah.
Golf. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, we have golf clubs here at some schools.
It's so expensive, so nothing
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
right. Yeah. But in school, it's at least my PE class was more like dodgeball,
I
that
love
kind of
dodgeball.
stuff, and also track and field a bit, and that's about it. Well, sometimes we dance.
Wait, you had dodgeball in Germany?
Yeah, but
really?
like during PE, during school, not as a club. You wouldn't sign up for a team.
Oh, I wish we had a club. No, there are clubs.
Dodgeball clubs.
There's adult clubs.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think, yeah, my sister and brother-in-law, they were in a dodgeball team at one point.
That's funny.
They also play ultimate. Yeah.
The first time I played Ultimate was in school in Germany. And it was more like fun. Not like actual but great. It was just the teacher just wanted to show us how it's working and the rules and everything.
Yeah, you need some skill to play ultimate.
Yeah. I'm gonna join a team.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I've only done
hope
it
so.
once, but
I think we still need some more people if you want to join.
yes, please join.
I already joined the badminton team, so
You can play in 2 teams, that's no problem.
I don't have so much time.
Oh, we have to play badminton.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I used to play a lot.
Are you the coach?
I used to coach, not here at this school. I coached volleyball when I was here, my first
really?
2 years. First year, the grade 8s, we won the district champions.
Oh wow.
For rookie coach, the luck of a rookie coach, right? But badminton, I coached at the other school that I first taught at before here,
What school?
Delta Secondary in Ladner.
Oh yeah. Heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like badminton. I never made the team in my school though, because they tried us out as pairs. And then my friend said, okay, let's try out together. And I was like, okay. I never got to hit the birdie. So they said, no, you can't. Look, I didn't show anything because my friend kept jumping up and hitting it into the net and out of the court. And I was like, that's not fair. So I never was in a badminton team.
You should have chosen a different friend.
Yeah. But in high school, I was more into music. So I'm glad that we had a music program.
Yeah,
I
that's
I
right.
learned piano growing up,
Yeah.
but it was cool being part of a school band. We would travel as a band.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we went to Alberta on a road trip on a bus. So that was a lot of fun.
And you also grown up here in Vancouver? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, I was born in Vancouver. Grew up in Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Always stayed here. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's a nice area. Definitely.
It is nice. It is nice growing up here. But, I mean, you guys have the ultimate experience of growing up in Germany and being able to travel. Like, I'm glad you guys, you should be glad that you took the opportunity to do that.
Definitely, especially during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That we had the chance to come.
Uh-huh.
Especially because other countries didn't allow us to, or the borders were still closed, and we were allowed to go into Canada.
Right.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Because it could have been shut down completely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know when my brother was in Canada, there was like the lockdown started in March, and they already announced that the schools are going to be closed till September or in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, I don't know, shocking for us, because in Germany it was like, well, we're going to close the schools for 3 weeks now, and then we're going to open again. And in other countries, they were already announcing that it's going to be closed for the whole rest of the year.
Right.
Yeah. My brother was also 2 years ago in the US, and he had to get sent back after 3 months. Yeah, because of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. A lot of internationals were like, they weren't sent back, but they were be asked to go back home.
Maybe also because when the borders get closed, and then you don't know how they come back. And, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, my brother still stayed.
The uncertainty is very stressful, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like at the beginning of the pandemic here, it was like, who knew what was going to happen? How bad it was going to get? What is work going to be like for us, right? We were teaching online at first, which was a terrible experience, I have to say. Trying to get students to go online to do stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But did you have the Google Classroom before?
I did. Yeah, a lot of us did. So that part of it was already set up. Zoom was new, right? And it was trying to get students together at a certain time to go on Zoom. That didn't work out for most of us. But getting them to do some assignments on Classroom and then turn it in, that was okay. But still, there were a lot of students who just, you couldn't keep contact with them. You didn't know what was going on, what they need help with. And that's why as teachers, we like to be present with students, because then we can notice something right away and help out. So
we got a new app, right? For the pandemic.
What a brat.
A new app.
a new app?
Yeah. Oh no, it's learning.
Oh no, our school had so-called HPI Schulcloud.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. It's learning. It's like the same as Classroom, but
Yeah, it was basically also the same as Classroom.
yeah.
But before the pandemic, there was no like any kind of internet connection. Like we had Wi-Fi in school, but not even any student had like a school email.
Yeah.
It didn't exist. And so I remember the first 3 weeks of the pandemic was like we used Dropbox. So the teachers uploaded stuff into the Dropbox, and then we had to send it back via email.
Wow.
Our private email.
Okay.
And that was really stressful. And then the teachers had to reply and had to give feedback to each person in individual. So that was a lot of stress, I think. And I guess each school handled the situation differently.
Yes. Just like here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dropbox. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. How did your school handle it?
I think like our app was called It's Learning, and it's like you get from your teacher, they put you in like the classes, and then they just upload the stuff there, and you can reply to it. And so you just like drag the stuff you did from Pages. It's Pages. It's like
Pages, yeah.
you just drag it in there and then you send it back. So
Okay.
it was very easy.
Yeah, we also had a time where we were supposed to use Teams, Microsoft Teams. That was like 2 weeks probably. And then they were like, well, we're going to use a different system now. And so we had Dropbox, then we had the school cloud.
Yeah.
Then we had 2 weeks of Teams probably, or some teachers used Teams, some didn't. And now they're having even a different system.
It keeps changing.
Yeah.
Well, especially during the pandemic, nobody knew what was best to use or how to use it sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. That's totally right.
It's a very confusing time, but we got used to, being flexible and adapting because you have to.
I think as a student, it somehow set us up for the future because you never know which kind of system you're going to use. So I learned how to get adapted to a different system and how to use it. And yeah.
Well, hopefully, like through your education, you learn how to learn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the most important thing. You can't expect somebody to do it for you all the time or show you how to do things. You have to be more, as you get older, more resourceful and more able to adapt to different situations.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. All right. Any last comments or things to say here?
Well, I would just say Canada is a beautiful country, and whenever you get a chance to visit it, go for it.
Yeah, and thank you that you invited us to be part of your podcast.
It was a pleasure.
Well, one day I would like to go to Germany to do the podcast.
That would be cool.
Sure.
You're always welcomed.
I will come and visit one day. You guys show me around.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Germany because I missed my chance with a cousin that was working there. I think it was like the Volkswagen plant or something. And anyways, they've moved back to Singapore now.
Oh,
but
well, now you can visit him in Singapore.
Yes. But looking forward to doing more travel after this whole thing settles down.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys.
You're totally welcome.
Thank you.
It was a nice talk. Thank you for inviting.
Bye.
Wait, I'm going to make this into my theme song. Have you heard this before, Nele? I don't know if you've heard this before. Oh, this is good.
Can you hear anything?
No.
Are you agitated?
No.
Have you heard this before?
No.
It's me singing.
Don't tell her.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them
That's so
both in
pretty.
mine.
Wow.
You know
Who's
you
laughing?
stopped me dead while I was
think Carmen.
passing by.
At you?
Yeah.
And now I beg
Why?
to see
Why
you
did you have to
dance
do
just
that?
one more time.
I just did it. I don't know.
Oh, I see you every time.
I love your
so good.
voice. That's so good.
So good.
I know.
You make me.
So embarrassing.
Have you done any more?
No, I have to pay for it now.
That's too bad.
It's like 100 euros per year. So expensive.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. Yes.
Yeah, for your voice, definitely.
Yes. Do you have one?
No.
Okay. Live at lunch.